as a democratic society. Filipinos have the right to
We will
information
start in a few minutes, 5 minutes.
based on the foundation of our democratic processes enshrined in the Philippine Constitution. Under Article 3, Section 7 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, it emphasizes the right of the Filipino people to information on matters of public concern. Thus, the Philippine Information Agency is built on the principles of development communication, reaching out to the grassroots and explaining the policies and programs of the government as a gateway of information for all Filipinos. Created by virtue of EO 100, the Philippine Information Agency was established on December 24, 1986 under former President Corazon C. Aquino. As the enablers of the development of the nation, the PIA continuously serves Filipinos with accurate, timely, and relevant information.
I,
I,
Corazon Cojuangco Aquino,
Corazon Cojuangco Aquino,
Ako si Fidel Valdez Ramos.
Ako si Joseph Ejercito Estrada.
Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Si Benigno Aquino III.
Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Do solemnly swear.
Ako, si Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. ay taimtim na nanunumpa. Natutuparin ko na buong katapatan at sigasig ang aking mga tungkulin bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
In almost 4 decades, the PIA has evolved and strengthened its mandate, committed to provide access to information in order to enhance the people's capabilities in decision-making and promote participation in nation building. Today, the agency continuously strengthened the government's communication capacity towards transforming Filipinos to be thought leaders for the nation. With 16 regional offices and 78 provincial information centers across the country, the PIA is the largest communications network in the Philippines. The PIA engages with the public, making the government seen, heard, and felt. Now, under the leadership of Director General Jose A. Torres Jr. and the guidance of Presidential Communications Secretary Cheloy E. Velicaria Garafil, PIA aims to make Filipinos understand the different policies and programs of the national government while utilizing a whole-of-government approach.
Our unwavering commitment to progress, backed by the collective efforts of our dedicated officials, will undeniably yield tangible benefits for the region and its people. I assure you that we at the Philippine Information Agency stand committed to our role in disseminating relevant and timely information about programs and services. We will continue to ensure the successes and impact of these initiatives reach every corner of the country.
Focusing on development communication and providing communities the access to information, making government policies and programs real, authentic, meaningful, and sustainable in the hearts and minds of every Filipino. Paving the way in communicating the delivery of public policy, PIA continues its legacy by becoming strong advocates of participatory governance, providing factual information dissemination, promoting effective communication for change, boosting social marketing and mobilization, usage of innovative media advocacy, promoting active community participation, and embarking the digital era of media. As the PIA looks forward to a bright and united Philippines under President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. we continue to inform, inspire, and innovate. Because we are the Philippine Information Agency, enablers of Philippine development.
Welcome to another episode of One Davao, a virtual presser. Today is April 3, Wednesday, and this is another episode aired live to the Facebook page of PIA Davao Region. We will also be aired later at PTV Davao, Radio Pilipinas, FM, Republica FM1 Davao, and Davao City Disaster Radio. Mayang hapon sa tanan nato listeners and viewers. Karong hapon na isgutanan nato ang animation and gaming industry opportunities in Davao City, and I am joined by Ms. Ria Lu, CEO of Leverate and BT Animation. Good afternoon, Ria.
Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you for joining us. You heard medyo busy yung inyong araw, going to different schools.
Yeah.
Itong ating discussion is about animation and gaming, no? Part siya ng parang creative industries. I remember this PCIDA law, Philippine Creative Industry Development Act. Can you tell us about how yung opportunities or potentials na animation and gaming industry dito sa Pilipinas?
Sige. So siguro I'll tell you a little bit about me and what I do. So yeah, I'm in the game and animation. So I run a game and animation company. And like a lot of companies dito sa Philippines, we do a lot of mga outsource work. So basically we do games and animation projects for other game and animation companies outside. But that's so that's one part of the opportunities for the Philippines. But that's not the only thing that we can do. So siguro I can give you a background. The big portion of the game and animation industry kasi of our country is really outsourced. So I don't know if you're familiar with yung mga games like The Witcher or Last of Us or yung mga Gears of War. Parts of that is being made dito sa Pilipinas. So that's a big part of our industry. And then but that's not the only thing within our industry. We also make our own games, our own work. Like may mga games na rin tayo na na-produce dito sa Philippines na our own, not for other people, that have gone out into the market and have been fairly successful. Yung mga Street Food Tycoon, mga Flippy Bottle, ganyan. So we have those, and those are some of the things that the Philippine game industry has been doing. The only thing is sa atin for us, so the thing that limits us is supply. Okay, I know that the Filipinos, we're very creative people. Kaya syempre, there are certain rules and certain parang bars that we need to reach to be able to be competitive with the rest of the world. I think kasi with the animation and game industry, it's really a global industry. Hindi siya local industry, So for example, if you make a game, hindi mo naman niya i-release sa Pilipinas lang. It's in through the entire world. So in other words, once you get out there, parang kalaban mo kaagad yung mga the Nintendos and the Final Fantasies and the Baldur's Gate of the world. Parang ganun kaagad, you're up against them agad. And so what we're doing ngayon, and these are the projects that we have nga with Davao ngayon, is really trying to up that talent pool to get our artists and our creators, our developers, to be at that level na kaya natin mag-compete. So the only thing really stopping us is that supply nga. And if we can increase that supply, we can play in that space a lot better, diba? So yun.
So your company, tell us about your company. You said na isang gaming and animation. Yung asan yung offices nga, and you're expanding here in Davao to look for also talents, no? Develop talents.
Yes. So Leverate is actually registered in Singapore. So technically we're a Singaporean company, pero we're a remote company. So which means our people come from anywhere. You know, meron kaming mga tao sa Manila, meron kaming tao sa US, meron kaming people in Cebu or Naga. So yun yung ano, that's the nature of like the new form of work ngayon na remote na. The nice thing about it is hindi kami ngayon confined to just kailangan Manila lang. You know, so we can now look for talent all over the Philippines. In fact, all over the world nga kung gusto namin because it's remote naman. As long as they work well culturally with our company and also they're at that skill level na we can compete with the world. So, and yun. And
Tell us about your activity.
Go on.
Okay. So tell us about your activities sa Davao. What are you doing? Kasi kasama yung aking friend na si Glenn, no? Your yung schedule, I think you're going to different schools. Ano yung ginagawa niyo?
Yes. Yeah. So one of the problems that a lot of schools have is really when it comes to OJT. So for example, ako narisin dito sa Davao, like how many game and animation companies are there dito sa Davao? Parang wala masyado, di ba? And so what happens is, pagdating ng OJT, either the students will take an OJT na not related course, like kahit na animation ang tinake nila, wala silang choice because there's not a lot of animation companies. So they would go for OJT in a non-related company na lang para lang maka-OJT, or some of them would have to fly out to Manila just to be able to OJT in an animation or game company, di ba? And so yun yung parang pain point, and yun yung parang one of the things that is preventing Davao to producing more of these really good mga animators. So what we're doing with the schools ngayon is we're developing a reverse OJT, so to speak. So parang instead of the students flying to Manila to OJT in the game companies and animation companies there, papadala na lang kami ng tao here, and then we work with the schools, use their labs as the parang instead of our studios, and then do the OJT for the students there. So para hindi na sila kailangan lumipad, di ba? So that gives opportunities to the students here that normally mahihirapan sila to get otherwise.
Okay, minsan kasi dito sa Davao, like yung, for example, yung parents, they're more traditional, di ba? Gusto natin yung medicine or law, yung mga parang yung parang career, parang career normal learning. But yun yung discuss namin sa Pisida na there's much income and opportunity sa creative industry, particularly sa animation and yun, gaming. For example, kasi I've also worked with mga animators na malalaki yung kanilang kita, lalo na yung mga 3D animators, no? Tell us gaano kalaki ang, for example, one animator, how average niya, ano yung mga potential earnings niya, or for example, yung clients, para ma-inganyo naman yung, kasi marami tayong talented na hindi lang nag-venture, very traditional mindset.
That's true. So ganito, I just wanted to say also that employment is not the only thing that's available as an opportunity for artists. Okay, so definitely that's one form of opportunity. It's employment with a game or animation company. Like kami, naghahanap kami ng mga tao. So if you're interested, talk to us, talk to our partners. Kasi we also work with partner companies, and you can be employed with a game and animation company. The salaries, they range depende yan sa skill level, number of years of yung experience, but mostly skill level talaga. Like if you're young and magaling, you can still make a good amount of money. Experience is also very important kasi hindi lang naman basta art kami. Art na merong programming, or art na may konting technology yan, or art na may parameters yan. So experience also plays a big role in the determining of kung magkano ba yan yung salary that I can get. But it really ranges. Like ang isang senior artist, let's say senior animator, can make as much as like 80,000-90,000 pesos a month. But that's a senior animator na yan, so matataas sa position na yan. And then for the so at least you have an idea of what you wanna go for. 50 is also siguro mga a decent mid to senior is it's probably fall around mga 50 ganun. So, it's big amounts of money if you actually get to that level. Second opportunity that you can also look into is freelancing. Sometimes sometimes there are artists na who is actually mas comfortable not being fully employed. Pwede naman. You can work with companies on a per project basis. Para, di ba, you handle your time also. Kung kunwari gusto mo mag-break after 3 months, okay lang. I mean, break for 3 months before taking on a new project, pwede rin. So that's the second way or second opportunity would be freelancing. We're also open to mga ganyan, especially for mga character designs, ganyan. Usually we just get freelancers for that in the end full time. So that's the second opportunity. The third, actually, I don't know if people have heard of asset stores. Ito naman, this route is parang you are parang kang negosyante. You're your own business. But asset stores are basically stores online wherein you can create your mga 3D work, mga ganun, put it up online for sale, and then people, kunwari, kumuha ka ng castle, and you know what, yung game ko kailangan ng castle. Sige, bilhin ko yung castle niya. Ganun. So it's pre-made stuff that people can download and buy. So may ganyan din na mga opportunities na pwede. So it's parang less of a commission work and more of like, these are the assets that I've done. You want them, you buy them. Ganon. So, meron din yung ganong klaseng opportunity. There's also an opportunity na gagawa ka ng sarili mo, and then you put it up, let's say if you make a game, you put it up on Google Play or Apple Store, and then, when people download, you also make money either off of ads or in-app purchases for that. So those are some of the opportunities for people in the space.
Aside from that, no, yung may magtanong na ano yung kailangan skill set, meron ba sila equipment? For example, yung mga freelancer, ano bang kailangan ng computer na yung rig na kailangan ng specs, ganun.
Yes, sige. That's a very good question kasi that's something that I really want to talk about. So ganito, one of our problems in the industry right now, kasi there are a lot of artists, okay? And marami kami natatanggap ng mga applicants wanting to be artists for games, wanting to be artists for animation. Ang problema namin is not na hindi sila marunong gumamit ng software. It's not the tools ang problema. Sige. So the tools that you need are actually, if you're going into 3D animation, you will need either Maya or Blender or Cinema 4D. These are the names of the 3D software that we use in the industry. And on top of that, you probably need to know a little bit of Photoshop for the textures and ganyan. So yun yung mga programs na ginagamit namin or tools na ginagamit namin in the industry when it comes to 3D animation. The thing is, ang problema namin is, many of the graduates that come to us, marunong nga sila itong mga tools na to. Pero, hindi pa rin ganun kaganda yung work sometimes. Okay? So for example, sabihin ko, sige, marunong ka ba mag-Maya? Kaya, marunong. Sige, kaya mo mag-model sa Maya. Pag sinabi natin model, it's like to actually make the 3D objects. Okay? Kaya mo bang mamodel sa Maya? Kaya ko yan. I know the extrudes, I know the ganyan tools, ganyan. Sige nga, gawan mo nga ako ng tao. Sige, gawa. Bakit ganyan yung itsura ng tao? Di ba? Parang, you know the tool, you can use the tool, pero iba pa rin ang usapan ng itsura, di ba? So, dun kami medyo na problema many times with the applicants that we get. They know the tools kasi nowadays, you can actually learn the use of these tools online. Punta ka lang ng YouTube, pwede ka matuto ng mga how to do Maya, how to do Blender, ganyan. Ang problema is, the focus becomes too much on the tool na nakakalimutan ang principles, like the principles of animation. Okay? So for example, sinabi ko, sige, ang test niyo, gusto kong gumawa kayo ng jump sequence. Okay? Ang assignment nyo lang is, papatalunin niyo yung character. Very simple, simple exercise. Pero pagkaisipin mo, ang jump is not as simple as move it up, move it down. Hindi ganun eh. It's really may gravity yan. So, mabilis ang movement ng paakyat and then biglang magsuslow down sa taas and then bibilis na naman because of gravity, di ba? Tapos, usually pagka nag-jump ka, hindi naman diretso jump yan eh. May buwelo konti bago mag-jump. And then pag landing mo, medyo may konting bounce ng konti, di ba? Yun yung medyo nakakalimutan ng mga ng mga artists, mga 3D artists locally na parang, marunong na ba ako gumamit ng tool eh? Yeah, but yun yung kulang. So if you really want to excel in this space, yes, importante na alam nyo how to use the tools. But number two, huwag nyo kakalimutan na you need the principles of animation, you need the principles of design para magaling ka doon. We've noticed na kung kunwari gusto mo maging magaling na modelers and gagawa ka ng objects, maganda if you actually can draw. Because usually, kung ano ang drawing mo, yun din ang lalabas ng 3D mo. 3D lang siya, you know? So kung kunwari mukhang banana yung kamay, pagka tinidin mo yan, mukha pa rin banana yung kamay. 3D lang siya. Alright? So you need to practice on these other skills as well to be good at 3D animation. Yeah, if you want to be very good at this space, if you want an edge in this space. So those are some of the things that you need to consider. In terms of hardware, I admit medyo mahal ang hardware to be able to do these things as a freelancer. That's why a lot of mga 3D artists, they like to work for a company kasi at least usually if you work for a company na yung may sariling well, most companies naman, even sa amin kasi usually if you work full time with Leverate, we provide machines then. But yun nga, if you're full time kasi, the company usually provides a machine and they're strong enough to do 3D. Freelance though, you're expected to have your own machine. And they can be expensive. Like ano ang kailangan mong specs for to be able to be good at to be a good 3D animator? Baka kailangan mo yung mga gaming machines, yung mga ROG type ganyan. At least ganung level ng machines ang kailangan mo para hindi nagka-crash yung iyong system habang gumagawa ka ng iyong mga work.
Pati yung rendering.
Oh, yung rendering madali na ngayon eh. Dati kasi matagal yan eh. Yung i-render
Alam mo, render farms.
mo. Yung mga render farms. Pero ngayon madali na because there's such a thing ngayon called cloud rendering. Ang cloud rendering, medyo magbayad ka lang $1, $5, ganyan. Tapos iakit mo sa send it online to a service and then siya na bahala mag-render and then pagbigay sa iyo, render na. Oh, hindi mo na kailangan ng very powerful machine to do it. So, may mga ganun. And they're not that expensive naman ng per rendering. Yung $5 na sinasabi ko, mahaba-habang rendering na yan. So, may ganun na. So, hindi na masyado problem yung machine when it comes to rendering. Now, ang problem mo lang is yung machine when it comes to actually making the work na lang. Pero if you really want to be a freelancer in the na 3D animator, medyo you have no choice but to really spend on a machine that's good for you. Ano yan eh? Pagkaisipin mo, tools of the trade yan eh. You know, if you really want to be in that space as a freelancer, kasi ayaw mo matali with one company, then isipin mo na lang para siyang business mo. Small business of one, di ba? Di ba, sa isang negosyo, kailangan mo ng capital, di ba? Kailangan mo ng storefront or something. Well, in your case, ang capital mo is yung machine mo. Medyo mahal-mahal konti. But because you have that powerful machine, you can actually do more complex work. Kasi pwede naman eh, kunwari hindi ko talaga kaya, hindi ko afford yung mga ROG na ganyan. Medyo lower end machine lang talagang kaya ko. But in that case, ang kaya mong gawin, siguro mga logo-logo lang na animation para hindi naman maghang yung machine, di ba? Pero kung kunwari tao na yan, medyo mahirap na yung medyo low end na machine. Di ba? Magka-crash na yung system niyan. Yon.
Pero mabawi mo rin yan, di ba?
Mabawi mo yan. Like I said, kung magkano yung kinikita mo, di ba? So for example, if you really are a good artist na alam mong you have experience already and magaling at malinis yung trabaho mo, you can command the price. You can charge them higher for projects that you make. And then yun nga, mababawi mo yun. Mababawi mo yun in less than a year kung masipag ka.
Okay, yung activities sa Davao, how do you find yung potentials ng Davao to host mga companies? Because we also have mga animation gaming companies. In fact, meron kong kakilala, Arthur Mercader, Papiting Studios.
Si Arthur.
Davao. Actually, nag-set up siya dito sa Davao. Bumalik siya din. Bumalik din siya sa Manila. Actually, nakasabay pa kami sa aeroplano. Dala pa niya yung TNCP. Sabi nga, mas malaki kasi opportunity dito sa Manila, sa Davao. Hindi pa ganun. So, nagbalik siya sa Manila. Sabay kami naman flight noon. Dala pa niya. I remember, dala pa niya CPU. So, yung Davao, ano yung potentials niya na dito kayo nag-locate? How do we have the great talent pool para ma-sustain yung industry?
So ganito, ang nakikita ko sa Davao is Davao has a lot of illustrators, has a lot of graphic designers, maraming artists sa Davao. And I think yan yung magandang potential. Kasi like I mentioned nga, kung gusto mong pumasok ng 3D, maganda talaga if medyo may konting background ka na on, the more, hindi man traditional, pero like kung kunwari nag-illustrate ka na, nagdo-drawing ka na, and gusto mo mag-aral ng 3D, mas madali yun. Because gets mo na Gets mo na yung form ng tao, gets mo na yung anatomy ng tao, yung proportion ng tao. Ganun. So, it's may konting edge ka na to aaralin mo na lang yung tools paano siya i-translate into 3D. And that's the opportunity na nakikita ko. Sabi ko, ang Davao, ang laki ng pool ng illustrators. Ang laki ng pool ng graphic designers. Pwede ba natin nga i-train to also learn 3D? Baka naman kaya na rin nila yung 3D. Kasi so that's one opportunity that we see in Davao. The second opportunity that we see in Davao kasi is, unlike, let's say, a city like Manila. Manila is busy, okay? Maingay, mabilis, ganyan. When it comes to creativity kasi, kailangan mo ng konting space at like konting quietness para naman maka-experiment ka, makatrabaho ka, hindi ka parang ngarag all the time. And Davao has a slower pace, which is more conducive to creatives. So, yun yung another opportunity na nakikita ko sa Davao. So, andyan, kumbaga, usapan, may raw talent ba dito? O yan, andyan, kitang-kita mo na yung raw talent Di ba? Kailangan lang natin bigyan sila ng tools na lang to be able to do more, to be able to do more complex art styles. Yun.
Sa inyong company expanding, do you actually doing trainings now to harness or to enhance mas skills na mga yung ngayon na nandito sa Davao?
Sorry, again? Yung
sa inyong company, do you actually do yung mga trainings ngayon, upgrade yung mga yung talents ngayon ng Davao?
Yes, we do that. So, kami, we are a member of the Game Developers Association of the Philippines. So, ang GDAP, the Game Developers Association, we actually, part of what we do is really upskilling. It's to help the industry grow by increasing its talent pool. So, in fact, meron kami isang project called the CG Arts project, wherein it's a tie-up between GDAP and a Japanese group called the CG Arts Society. Ang CG Arts kasi in Japan, it's a group wherein meron silang program, meron silang curriculum and certification program for computer graphics. And sa amin kasi, the reason why we reached out to them is because, yun nga, alam mo naman Japanese standard, diba? Medyo mataas. And para sa atin, we need to elevate our bar such that we can compete. So sabi naman, doon na tayo sa mahirap. Kausapin natin in Japan. So they have this program. Kinausap namin sila, sabi namin, pwede ba naming i-localize yan, i-translate yan, tapos dalhin natin dito sa Pilipinas para ito yung magiging baseline namin. Kung pasado kami dito, more or less, nafe-feel namin na, okay, ito yung level na kailangan namin abutin. And so that's one of the programs that we have actually. We ran that last year, although, we ran that for about 200 people last year. Mostly mga Manila attendees, although I think may mga sumama din na from Cebu. So we want to expand that to the rest of the country also, to give also opportunities to people outside of the big cities to take it. Kasi the nice thing about that program is it basically levels the playing field. So kahit na sabihin mo, hindi ako taga Manila well, it doesn't matter. Ano ang iyong skill level? If kung pasado ka dito sa certification na to, naintindihan mo, maganda ang work mo. I mean, why would ba't ko pipilitin na dito lang ako sa big schools kukuha ng mga graduates, di ba? So those are some of the things that we have in terms of programs for upskilling right now. So the CGRs program, that's gonna happen again this year, pero wala pa kaming set date kung ano at talagang date na mangyayari yun. But if, for example, you're a school or a company who wants to go through this training and then take the certification exam, reach out to me. I'm easily searchable naman. Madali akong hanapin, Rialu. You can find me in LinkedIn. And then either that, you can avail of that, you can take advantage of that program kasi we already have that ongoing. And the second opportunity nga is, let's say you're interested in that reverse OJT that I mentioned earlier, na yung tipong pwede bang baliktarin natin, instead of our students going to Manila can you come to Davao and then can we be part of that reverse OJT? Then you can also reach out to us and then let's see, baka you can also be part of that program. So yun, those are some of the opportunities for Davao.
I have I was a film programmer once for Cinema Rion, the SPA program na may mga regional films, and we have ko na-meet sila Arthur because we have animated shorts, no, animated films. And I think Ateneo, Denagan, Ateneo de Zamboanga had animation programs. In fact, yung dati naming vice principal sa Ateneo de Davao High, si Father Danny Isidro, headed the animation program dun sa Ateneo de Nava.
Yeah.
And itong academe, how vital are they in propagating, no, and also enhancing our talent pool sa Davao? Because yan yung sinasabi din ng Davao City Chamber and yung ICT Davao, no? Because ICT Davao yung isang goal nila is to have many talent pool, no? Because we are also may maraming ICT or BPO locators dito. They want from 75,000 ICT workers to 150,000, not just yung call center, but also yung inyong animation and gaming. How important is the academe in enhancing yung ating talent pool?
Oh, very important. We work a lot with the academe for that talaga because syempre yung kami when we hire, 'di ba? You hire students who are graduates of the schools who are produced by these schools, 'di ba? So we really need to work closely with academe, and it's very important for us that academe are well equipped to teach the skills that we need. Kasi if not, ang mangyayari is may mga graduates nga ng mga students, hindi naman sila hireable, 'di ba? So it's not good on the kids kasi syempre they spent 4 years learning something tapos hindi lang pala sila qualified, di ba? And it's also not good for us sa industry kasi parang kailangan namin ng tao, saan tayo kukuha, di ba? Hindi sila qualified, di ba? So yes, it is very important for us working with academe. We know we're familiar with we're aware of the yung efforts ng Ateneo de Naga. It's very good. In fact, in Manila, a big part of the art workforce is from Ateneo de Naga, so they are doing something correct there. And I think we should replicate or find something a strength in Davao also for that. I mean, you don't have to you don't have to copy Manila because Manila has its own bad practices also. So it's also good to find what works for the city. Yun.
Ano yung nakikita nyo, ano yung mga schools na nakita nyo pwede ma-partner to provide us the training, education?
Dito sa Davao? Dito sa Davao so far, yung mga na-meet namin si Holy Child IT Academy, ISAT, I know they have a 3D program. Sino pa ba? I think we have a meeting with UM also. And then so those are some of the schools that we know na who might be able to offer these programs as well. Yeah.
Kasi may mga ngayon, mga multimedia arts, no?
Di ba?
Aside from traditional communication arts.
Correct. So multimedia arts, animation, there's skills that offer AB animation. Tapos there's also another course called EMC, the Entertainment and Multimedia Computing. Yun, that's a game course na may animation din yun. Yun, those are some of the courses that that kids can take if they want to be in this field.
Okay, how if one school or any organization wants to partner with your group, lalo na I think may magrupo, may Davao Designers Guild, meron Davao Graphics Animator, meron
C or something, yeah. Yeah. I've heard of them.
Active yan sila. How can they reach or nag-partner na sila sa inyo?
Wala pa. But yeah, you can reach me. Like I said, you can easily find me on LinkedIn. Just search my name, Ria Lu. It might be easier to find me that way. So yun. Just reach out to me. I'm easily reachable naman through the different media. And then let me know if you're interested. Tapos we'll put you together with like if it's a good match with our company, then let's do it. If not, then we'll see through GDAP who they can partner with. So yun.
So, your company is already start full blast na dito sa Davao. May mga projects na kayo na
May mga
ginagawa
projects
dito sa
kami dito. Meron na. Pero hindi pa ganun kadami. Like I said, because of supply. The thing that prevents us is really supply. So we need more artists of a certain level para we can
What
send.
about the global demand for ganito na trabaho?
Mataas
Yung global.
mataas because again if you look at it, let's say the game industry pa lang. Ang game industry is $1 trillion industry, you know. So it's big. At saka it's part of the cost cutting kasi for a lot of bigger companies to actually send work or parang partially outsource their work to the Philippines and other countries. So there is a demand for it. Merong opportunity for it. Okay. But the thing is, we're not the only players in the field. Andyan si Vietnam, andyan si Indonesia, andyan si Malaysia, you know, and that's only Southeast Asia. And then we go to Europe, andyan yung mga Eastern European countries as well. So we really need to up our game if we want to play in this space.
I-compare mo ang Philippines with his fellow Southeast Asian neighbors like Vietnam and Indonesia. How do we fare sa ganun sa competition?
How do we fare? O sige, ganito. Do you want me to be honest? Ganito, we have potential. Okay? We have very high potential. Ang problema natin is most of the time, we get stuck at just potential. Ang main kalaban natin in the Philippines is really that mentality natin na pwede na yan. Because it is never pwede na yan. You know? It cannot be pwede na yan. Another problema natin is attention to detail. Hindi tayo masyado madetalye. Okay? So for example, if I asked an illustrator outside, sige, gawin mo nga ako ng teenage character. Ano lang, pa-jeans and t-shirt mo lang. Okay. Ang idodrawing niya, sige, drawing siya, naka-t-shirt siya, pero yung t-shirt niya medyo may print na, ay, pag tingnan mo yung t-shirt, parang, alam ko to sa Gap to ganun. Tapos pag tingnan mo, ay, yung kanyang jeans, okay, yun yung mga ripped jeans na yung uso ngayon. Okay, acid washed yung kanyang jeans. Okay. So ganyan ang character designs of illustrators outside. And then you ask a Filipino illustrator, sige, gawa mo nga ako the same character. Usually, ang bigay sa'yo, nakaputing t-shirt, naka-blue na pants. Yun na yun. Na parang, okay, technically just a t-shirt, pero, you know, nakuha mo, the level of detail is kind of what's lacking sa atin. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. Meron kang makikita na parang, galing itong mga artist ito, you know, hiding in the, hiding in somewhere in the Philippines. Meron naman tayong mga magagaling. Except, ang challenge natin is how to make more. How to get more people to be like that, to be that detailed. You know? So how do we fare with Vietnam? Vietnam is very consolidated, very intentional. Buo yung kanilang mga, like when they go to a trade show, for example, when Vietnam goes to a trade show, may booklet yan. May nakasulat na dyan. Ito yung mga ISO certification namin, itong kaya namin, you're very organized, you know, versus us. Here's my PowerPoint. You know, hindi tayo masyado consolidated in that sense. So that's kind of how we're faring. Yun. That's where we are. Are we competing? Oh yes. Kasi at the end of the day, like I said, mataas ang potential ng Pilipinas. And pagka na-polish yan properly, magaling ang artist ng Pilipinas pagka na-polish. Ang problem is, medyo paminsan tinatamad tayo to polish yan. Na parang, sige, character na yan, pwede na yan. Parang hindi, umupo ka dyan at, you know, dagdagan mo yan ng texture, ano ba? So, yun, that's where we're at.
Okay, yung PCDA law, how does it parang help you, help the industry, and for sa city, yung local government, ano yung mga laws or assistance na gusto nyo hingiin para ma-develop or ma-sustain industry?
The PCDA law is wonderful for our industry. Kasi all of a sudden, hindi na kami seen as yung nagdo-drawing lang. Di ba? Yan yung yan yung growing up, that's the experience ng a lot of mga artists. Hindi sila masyado recognized. Yung mga parents sila are proud of their siblings. Ito anak ko doktor. Ito lawyer. Ito, ewan ko, nagdo-drawing lang ito anak ko. Di ba? Ganun siya dati. But now, hindi na. Because all of a sudden, ay, itong nagdo-drawing kong anak, kumikita ng 80,000 a month. Di ba? So now there's visibility na, medyo tinitingnan na. And thanks to the PCDA law nga, it's very, we're front and center nowadays na parang, creatives yan. So that's one. That's good. Second, one of the pushes din ng PCDA law, which I'm kind of happy with, is their push for original content. When we say original content, ganito kasi, when we make stuff for other people, we call that, syempre, di ba, service work or outsource. And that's good in a sense na gawa ka, bayaran ka nila, done. I mean, you get money agad, right? Unfortunately, that's not always the most sustainable kasi ang mangyayari niyan is hindi iyo yung ginagawa mo eh. It's for somebody else. So you have no ownership for that thing, that work. Diba? So pagka natapos ng trabaho, wala ka na rin kita. Period. Diba? Unlike, for example, if iyo yung gawa, you make a game, it's your game, you own it, tapos nilabas mo siya, okay, kumita siya, tapos naging popular siya. Let's say, kumari lang gumawa ka ng character na, I don't know, sige, si Davi, okay? Gumawa ka ng character na mukhang eagle na si Davi, alright? Gumawa ka ng game sa kanya or animation sa kanya. Nilabas mo siya, kumita siya, and then after that, okay, nag-stop ka na. It's like, okay, ayoko na gumawa ng game. But Davi already exists and it is a character mo. All of a sudden, somebody says, oh, you know what? Gumagawa ako ng biskwit. I want your character, si Davi, na nandun sa aking, sa aking packaging. Siya nag-endorse ng aking biskwit. Okay, hey, creator, bayaran kita. Yung royalty lang tayo para hindi masyado, yung mabigat din sa akin. For every biskwit that sells, bigyan kita 5%, for the use of your character. And then, so ikaw, wala ka ginagawa, nandiyan, sige, thank you. All right, kumikita ka ng extra 5% because of your character. Because, not na wala kang ginagawa lang, but because before that, you did everything you can to make Davi a very popular character, a character that people like, na meron na siyang value in itself, na even if you stopped working na, may value yung character mo. And people will continue paying you for that value. That's what Korea's doing. That's what Japan is doing. Kaya yung nakikita niyo mga K-drama or yung mga K-pop, ganyan. Paminsan, sige, paggamit na lang yung K-pop group ninyo, gawan ko ng comics. O sige, but for each comic that is sold, babayaran ko sila ngayon ng 5% or something. Royalty. And that's one of the pushes ng PCDA, which is I'm happy about. I think the Filipinos also need to also look at that. I'm not saying we abandon outsource altogether because, that's what we do. We're good at it. We should continue doing it. But we should not be reliant 100% on it. It is time that we actually also become the creators of, our characters, our stories, things that we like, So yun, that's part of it. And I'm happy that the spotlight is in this industry. And I think as creators also, wag tayo 100% ang hinahabol. It's just, gusto kong maging artist that people will hire, but more of, I want to create my work. I will make my work very popular and very well-loved so that it gets to a point na, pati ako, babayaran ako ng royalty just for the use of my character. So yun.
Yung city government, anong kailangan nilang gawin ng law, ng ordinance, or systems ba to help, no?
So, etong akin. Step 1, the city has to determine what they want to be or what they want to be known for. Naga was great at that. Naga defined na, we want to be an animation town. Okay, so yun yung kanilang pinush. They became great at animation. This Davao wanted. This one, I think it should be the city that has to determine it. Kasi ano ba talagang gusto nyo maging, And probably part of that would be mapping. Check mo kung gano'n nga ba talaga kadaming animators or artists or what ang meron dito sa dito sa Davao. And for example, if you determine na, you know what, okay tayo sa 3D animation. Okay, then, number 1, set mo muna. O sige, ang ating thrust for the next 5 years, magiging 3D animation town tayo. All right, 3D animation city tayo. All right. Okay, so yun yung step 1 that the city needs to do. They have to determine what they want to be. Hindi pwedeng lahat. Hindi pwedeng, animation ako, and comics din ako, and character din ako, and music din ako. I mean, all of those are great, and that they have to be there. But determine what you want to be really, really good at para we can focus our effort on that at hindi tayo sabog na nagko-comics tayo, nagmo-music tayo, nagmo-movie tayo, pick one. Pick one. Doesn't mean naman na hindi ma-develop yung iba, pero pick one to be known for. Second, pagka okay na yun, then kailangan work with industry to determine kung paano nga ba i-up yun, paano i-akyat to that level. So, work with people like me, at hindi lang naman ako ang group out there. Baka sila puppeteer also wants to help out to give back to the city na, we can develop some of the artists that are here to be at that level na we can hire and who can produce work that's worldwide. And then after that, pagka merong mga original work na nagagawa, promote it. One of the biggest things, way to help a creator succeed is to promote his work. Kasi mahal ang marketing. So if the city can help promote works made from here, promote it not just in Davao, but to the rest of the Philippines and to the rest of the world, that would help the creators and, also the whole city as well. So yeah, those are some of the things that the city can do. It doesn't need a new ordinance or anything. It just really needs like decisions na eto dito tayo pupunta and work with industry. It's easy naman to talk to us Kapit tayo, kwento tayo. Ano bang let us tell you kung anong kaya naming tulong. Ask us kung anong mga what levels that are needed. Just have a discussion and then take it from there.
Sa inyong yung paghahanap, how many in the ballpark, how many workers o talents do you need para sa inyong trabaho ngayon sa Davao City?
Ngayon, so ganito, yun yung kinukwento ko nga sa kanila. It's a chicken and egg thing, right? Right now, hindi pa ako naghahanap ng maraming other projects dahil wala naman akong tao to fulfill them, di ba? Kaya lang, syempre, ang question naman din ng mga iba, pero ilang talent ang aming i-develop? Dahil, how many do you need? So medyo chicken and egg, nag-iintayan tayo. Tingin ko, at the moment, just para lang, like kung kunwari aking company lang, hindi naman ganun kadami pa I mean, I need more talents first before I start looking for projects. Also the projects kasi mabilisan yan Pagdating ng project, start na kaagad tayo. Or meron lang ka lang like lead time na isang buwan or something. You can't train isang buwan and then expect na isa lang sila in a global project agad-agad. I mean, that's too risky for me. I won't do that. So I think that's also one of the parang medyo mali lang yung expectations. Like some of the schools kind of expect na sige, training tayo. And then after the training,
Project agad.
Alat na. Oh, hindi. I mean, I am not going to risk that dahil global projects to mga to, masisira ako kung hindi makadeliver yung bata. Diba? So, you need a little bit of experience muna. So, my suggestion, wag muna silang dependent on like companies like me for like big projects agad. Train the students. Train as many as you can. And then, give them alternatives. Hindi lang naman employment ang the only, like I mentioned, it's not the only opportunity that's available. You can do freelancing muna. You can do that asset store approach muna. Get yourself out there, get the experience, and then come back to us and say, oh, sige, you know what? We have like 1,000 really, really good artists. Oh, sige, hanapin natin ang project yan. Yun.
Okay. Because you're busy this whole day, hindi ko kayo, I'll not hold you back sa discussion natin today. To thank you, Ria, for sharing your time. Hanggang kailan kayo dito sa Davao?
Hanggang next week. Pero madalis naman ako bumabalik dito kasi my family's here naman. So,
Okay. Parting statements?
Sige. So, sa akin is, don't be, huwag kayong parang ma-discourage kung kunwari nakikita niyo parang, hindi pa pumapasa tong work ko na to, hindi pa rin siya at a level. Okay lang, huwag kayong ma-discourage. Push lang ng push. We'll get there because this is me from a person in the industry already saying na I really, really see the potential. Nakikita ko siya. And ang kulang lang talaga natin is yung polishing. Kailangan lang natin medyo, i-practice ang sarili natin. So do not give up. We will get there. And don't stop creating, don't stop practicing your craft,
Okay, thank you so much, Ria, CEO of Leverate and BT Animate. Dalawang companies, no? Yung Leverate,
The Leverage
isa
sa
lang.
akin, so I think kay Glenn yung isa.
That's Bluetel. I would like to greet, no, Glenn, my high school friend, Glenn
Yeah.
Abarquez.
You mentioned nga.
I would like also to thank Yael of iStrike Davao for also facilitating this interview with Leah of and good luck, congratulations if sa mga achievements ng ating animation industry sa Davao. Marami talaga dito because I've been ako may mga projects din ako with animators usually for sa city and other mga corporate, no, mga projects, very in demand talaga ang mga
Diba?
animator. I think parang problema din yung i-pirate sila, parang i-abroad, tawag niyan, yung pag-abroad sila, yung instead na magkuhan sila, mag-abroad, tawag niyan,
Parang brain drain, gano'n.
brain drain.
Nangyayari ngayon. Pero yun nga, that's also what I've been telling government. Huwag kayong, kasi, so ano, di ba, huwag ka na lang mag-train kasi matakot ka ng brain drain. Huwag naman ganun. Continue lang tayo. And what we need to do is parang make a case lang that make a case of why it is better to stay here. Because there's an advantage to staying here. Dito, relax ka. Davao is easy place to live in, Hindi ganun kamahal ang pagkain. It's close to the beach. Ang foreigners want to move here, yeah? Tapos here we are trying to move out, diba? So kung usapan lang is ano lang naman pala, yung pera lang naman pala the only reason they're going out is because they pay better. Well, then let's start creating an industry where we pay better so people don't have to leave, diba? So yun lang naman yun. You just need to give them a reason to stay. Diba? So wag matakot sa brain drain. Okay lang, let us making producing good artists.
Malayo marating yung dollars dito sa
Correct.
Davao. Okay, if you spend how many dollars bang binabayad sa mga or it's converted to currency na parang adjusted rates?
Depende sa company. Usually what we do, kasi nga, kunwari, if the company is here, different in our case, kasi yung company namin nasa Singapore kasi. So we pay in dollars. In dollars for some. Pero some still prefer to be paid in pesos, so okay lang. But like a lot of the Philippine companies, they pay in peso because it's also just easier currency-wise. Kasi di ba, kung dollars nag-fluctuate na parang, bakit ito yung bayad mo this month, another month, iba na naman presyo. So, depende sa company.
Yun. So, thank you. I think marami pa kayong meetings today, no? So, this has been Rudolph Palama, Philippine Information Agency. More relevant topics to be discussed in the next One Davao Virtual Presser. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Disaster Watch. Mga paalala habang lumilindol. Kapag lumilindol, mag-duck, cover, and hold. Maging mahinahon at humanap ng matibay na bagay na magsisilbing panangga sa posibleng pagbagsak ng debris. Magtago at protektahan ang sarili. Kumapit ng mahigpit at hintayin matapos ang pagyanig. Lumayo sa mga salamin at bintana. Kapag nasa labas ng tahanan o gusali, umiwas sa mga poste, puno at mga landslide-prone areas. Kung nasa sasakyan, huminto at tumabi sa isang ligtas na lugar. Sa panahon ng sakuna, dapat laging listo. Kapag lumilindol, mag-duck, cover, and hold. Huminahon at humanap ng matibay na bagay na magsisilbing panangga sa posibleng pagbagsak ng debris. Magtago at protektahan ang sarili. Kumapit ng mahigpit at hintaying matapos ang pagyanig. Sa panahon ng kalamidad, dapat laging listo. Disaster Watch. Paghahanda bago ang lindol. Alamin ang mga maaaring magdulot ng pinsala sa inyong lugar. Maging pamilyar sa mga sumusunod. Fire extinguishers, medical kit, exit routes, evacuation plan. Siguraduhing matibay ang bahay at paayos ang mga sirang bahagi nito. Ayusin ang pag-iimbak ng mga nakalalasong kemikal at mga bagay na maaaring maging sanhi ng sunog. Siguraduhing ligtas ang pagkakalagay ng mga mabibigat na bagay. Ihanda ang go bag na naglalaman ng mga kinakailangan. Makipag-ugnayan sa mga lider para sa plano sa paglikas. Pag-usapan din sa pamilya kung saan tutungo sa oras ng kailangan lumikas. Makilahok sa mga pagsasanay ukol sa lindol. Sa panahon ng sakuna, dapat laging listo.
Kini ang kasagarang ginahimo sa usa ka pamilyang Filipino. Matag adlaw, makagamit og 140.5 liters nga limpyo nga tubig ang usa ka tawo. 65.5 ka litro niini para sa mga gamit nga nagkinahanglan nga mainom ang kalidad sa tubig. 75 ka litro niini para sa mga gamit nga di nagkinahanglan nga mainom ang kalidad sa tubig. I-times na og ikalima nga kasagarang kadakon sa usa ka pamilya sa syudad sa Davao ug i-times kung pila ang total water service connections sa Davao City Water District, muabot sa 168.6 milyones ka litro o 67 ka Olympic-sized swimming pools ang ginagamit nga tubig matag adlaw. Bisan pa nga abunda sa limpyo nga tubig ang syudad sa Davao, atong hinumduman nga ang tubig dili unlimited. Maong responsibilidad natong tanan nga masiguro nga aduna pay tubig nga magamit ang umaabot nga henerasyon. Unsaon? Mahimot ang wais sa paggamit sa tubig. Mag-igmat, regular nga susihon ang gripo og mga tubo ug kun adunay mga leaking o guba, ipaayo dayon sa professional na tubero. Magmatngon, ayaw pasagdi nga moawas ang tubig sa sudlanan. Ayaw tuguti nga adunay mag-usik-usik og tubig. Ipahiuyon ang level sa flush-o-meter sa tangke sa tubig nga sakto lang sa matag flush. Og siguraduha nga sirado ang tanang gripo panahon sa water interruption. Mag-recycle. Mamahimo pang mapuslan ang tubig na nagamit na. Tiguma ang tubig ulan para sa mga gamit nga di nagkinahanglan nga mainom ang kalidad sa tubig. Dali lang kaayo ang pagtigom sa tubig ulan. Gikan sa atop, mudagayday ang ulan paingon sa sandayong. Pagplaster og tangke nga naay screen o taklob aron masalod ang tubig gikan sa sandayong. Hinumdumi, dapat wais ta sa paggamit sa tubig aron maubos ang water bill. Maprotektahan ang bastante na tubig sa syudad sa Davao og masiguro nga aduna pay tubig nga magamit ang umaabot nga henerasyon. Busa, mag-igmat, magmatngon, mag-recycle.